Is it working yet? It's gotta be working yet. Okay, today, I just decided to put this on while I'm cooking. Usually, you know, I want to do these lives around 5 o'clock, and I'm either trying to eat, cooking, and I end up doing it at a different time. But today, I'm just cooking while I'm doing it. All right, so what I've got so far is a pan with some dead cow in it. And I'm gonna go put that back on the stove, and I'll be right back. All right. For anyone who doesn't know, my stove is outside, and it's let's see. I cook on a rocket stove. So here, let me just go show you that for a second. You have to excuse, things might get a little pixely while I'm moving for a second here. Turn the camera around. All right, so here's my rocket stove. Oh, ignore my plants that I'm trying to start there and these tiles that were left over. This is just stuff. Anyway, here's my stove, and it's got some fire going on. Yep. Oh, I have to do this all slowly so it doesn't get too pixely, right? Yeah, this is the stove I made a little while ago in a video. It's working great. Let's just stuff those guys in. This is a pepper plant here, and that's also a pepper plant, and then another pepper plant, and then, oh, a fruit tree. I can't remember what this thing right here is, but it's something good. Okay. Sizzling away. Now, what do I want to do with some dead cow? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking sloppy joes, sloppy ones. Yeah, I know you kids like them extra sloppy. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I've got bread dough I made this morning. Oh, look at that. This is sourdough with lots of coconut in it. It's probably half coconut, half flour, and then, you know, sourdough. So that's where it gets the puffiness from. No store-bought yeast for me. Just, man, sourdough is like the easiest bread to make, in my opinion. I like it. Anyway, okay, so I think I'm gonna do sloppy joes. That means I should open some kind of tomato sauce. And I'm just opening some can of tomato sauce. I clearly don't have time to boil a bunch of tomatoes down. I also don't have sufficient tomatoes for that, or any tomatoes at the moment. So yeah, we're just gonna open a can of tomato sauce. And this one says 4 cheese, but I've not noticed any significant difference between any of the tomato sauces, even though they claim to have different flavors. It's like, there's a mushroom one and a 4 cheese one and a traditional. I don't know. They're like basically all different. Okay, can of tomato sauce open. What else do I want to put in here? Some garlic. Let's see. We had a couple little garlics. I want more than that though. I want it nice and garlicky. Oh, this sounds. I'm not going on any dates tonight. I don't need to kiss anybody. So let's put 4 little bulbs of, not bulbs, 4 little cloves of garlic. Wait, that one's really small. Let's put 5. Okay, that's good. Now, whenever I do my garlic, don't lick your knife because you might cut your tongue. Anyway, when I do my garlic, I do the, you know, squish it technique and then cut off the ends, and then, you know, because it's been squished, the peel comes off real easy, which is nice. And I don't know what my internet signal is like today. Hopefully it's good, because, you know, I'm trying to show things here, but I don't know. It comes and goes. Usually it's pretty good though. But I know the signal can't handle a lot of movement. Still, we're doing what we're doing, and let's see how it goes. Okay, let's get some garlic cut up. Just getting the squishing and getting the shells off the other 2. The last 2. Oh no, the other 3. There's another one here. Now, something I've learned about garlic, and I presume this is true because the internet told me, and when is the internet ever wrong, right? But supposedly, to get the garlic to have good antibacterial properties, it's best to crush the garlic first, because the garlic reacts with other parts of the garlic, and if you cut it up, you don't get the garlic like reacting together. You know, it's kind of like you know those epoxy things where you have to squish it to get the one part of the epoxy to mix with the other part. Yeah, supposedly garlic's like that. You got to squish it, not just chop it up. So squished it, and now I'm chopping it up into little bits. Oh yeah, good stuff right there. And I could put that, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the sauce right in, because I don't really wanna, let me just check how this is doing. Oh man, that looks good. Oh, look at that stuff right there. Oh, some good looking stuff right there. And it's got a lot of oil. Oh, almost enough to make popcorn. Now I'm torn. Do I make popcorn with the beefy oil, or do I just leave it in there? Either way, I'm definitely eating. Whenever I cook with, you know, meat, animal parts, I always eat all the fat. And I've been told many times when I was young that if you eat the fat, you get fat, but I've not found that to be the case. So I eat tons of fat now. Mostly because, like, I just want the calories. Like, my economy here is based on calories mostly. All right, garlic's going in. Let's see what we got here so far. Yeah, the lighting is terrible in here. Oh, let's move over a bit. Okay, tomato sauce, some dead cow, some garlic. I'm gonna put that back on the stove. I'll be right back. And what else do I want in there? I actually made the same thing yesterday. I had sloppy joes yesterday with my kids. And while I was eating it, I was commenting that these would be amazing with some hot sauce, but I never make hot stuff with my kids, of course. And someone sent me this. This was like a year ago or something. I don't know. I've had this for a while. This is my favorite hot sauce. And someone sent me this. So whoever sent me this, super thank you. I'm going to go dump a big old squirt of this in. And the way I do this is, you know, instead of pouring some into a smaller container so that I can, you know, dole it out carefully, I just poke a little hole in the, you know, the safety seal, whatever it is, the sanitary seal, I don't know. Poke a little hole so when I go, it just a little squirt comes out. So let me put some of this in there. Oh yeah, that's a lot of that. All right. Oh, and I just licked off the lid. Oh man, that stuff's good. This is my favorite hot sauce, totally. You know what? I think I'm also gonna put a splash of vinegar. All right, let me put a tiny bit of vinegar in here. And what else? Oops. Okay, in my garden, I actually have 2 leafy things that I'm gonna put in this here sloppy joe mix. And first one I'm gonna go get is oregano, which is just outside right there. So let me grab that. All right, 2 oregano leaves. I'm just gonna, oh, aren't those good looking leaves? Man, look at those. Too bad I'm like, the lighting is all wrong here. Which direction is better? This way Maybe that way's a little better. Or is it better this way? I don't know, somewhere. Anyway, there's my oregano leaves. I'm gonna chop them up into little bits. So nice. Let me go throw that in and I'll be right back. And I know some people say oregano, and some people say oregano. I say both, depending on what I feel like. Okay, the next leafy thing that I want to put in here, I just got to turn back this way a bit. The next leafy thing I want to put in is katuk, which is this. As far as I know, it wasn't native to here. Someone brought it and has been passing it around. It's just like this weed, basically, that just grows like crazy. And it has leaves that are supposed to be really good for you, like, you know, like spinachy kind of leaves. Although they don't taste as good as spinach, but they're supposed to be really good for you. So I put them in like everything. So right outside this window here, let's show you real quick. This plant right here is katuk. It also has these little berries. These things, and they taste like sugar snap peas. They're kind of good. So let me grab some of those. Sorry, pixely. All right, let me go grab a bunch of those leaves. I'll be right back. Oh no, I dropped some. Oh, I grabbed the ones that are not too much in the sun. They're not helping the plant out that much. All right, that's pretty good. All right, handful of leaves. And it's easy to get these because you just, oh no, I dropped one. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'll find it like 4 weeks from now. Anyway, the leaves grow on this little twiggy stem that's pretty strong. So you can just grab it and pull off a whole thing of leaves. So, you know, if I'm gonna do cooking anymore, I totally wasn't planning to do this, but I was like, I gotta make dinner now. And I want to do this thing now because I don't like waiting till it gets dark. Because it's just nice to do it when the light's still out, you know? Anyway, if I'm gonna do cooking more often, I need to make this thing a mount so we can actually aim down so I can show all the stuff I'm cutting, you know? Not that there's anything particularly special about it. I'm just cutting the stuff up on a cutting board. And the cutting board I made out of a piece of tree, which is kind of exciting. So let me show you that real quick. This was actually in the Adventure Builder movie. I made this cutting board, but you might not have seen. Again, the lighting is terrible in here right now. It's evening and the light is coming from the wrong direction. But anyway, this cutting board is much more colorful in real life, and I made it out of, I think, a Mayo Rojo, mahogany. That's what it is. It's mahogany. Yeah, they have different names for this stuff here. Mayo Rojo is the local name for mahogany. But I cut it out of a tree with a chainsaw, cut it up into, you know, boards with the chainsaw, and then used a hand planer to smooth it all out. And yeah, that part's all in the Adventure Builder movie. Okay, I'm gonna throw these here leaves into my sloppy stuff over here. I'll be right back. Oh wait, I want to bring my knife so I can, you know, shove it in. Gotta shove it in there. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay. Oh, there was one other thing I put in there. So before I started recording, I had this big lemon. It's like the size of a softball. And I put half the, you know, I squeezed it into here. There's lemon juice in here now. Whoa, yeah, that's lemon juice. Whew. Man, that is strong. Anyway, I put half of it on the meat while it was cooking before I put the tomato stuff in there. So now I think that would be it. Yeah, there's nothing else I need to put in there. Got some hot sauce and oregano and some, yeah, I think it's going to be delicious. Once that's done simmering, then I'll put my bread on. And I just cook my bread in a pan or a pot just on the stove. I cook it like a giant pancake. I'll cook it on one side and then flip it. And it depends how hot the fire is. If the fire is like kind of too hot for the bread, then I'll flip it a lot so it doesn't get burned on one side. But if the fire is kind of, low key, then I'll just put it on there, leave it for like 20 minutes, then flip it once, and then cook it on the other side. This fire is kind of blazing right now, but it looks like it's going to be calming down in a minute. Here, I'll show you my stuff that I'm cooking, what it looks like as it's going. All right, that's what I'm working with right now. I guess I should mix that in. Oh, I guess if I put the lid down, I can actually do that. You know what? I might want to put some cheese powder in this because there's only like one hamburger worth of meat in here. So it's not really going to get as thick as would be ideal for sloppy joes. Although, I mean, it'll just be extra sloppy, so maybe I'll just leave it. I mean, if I put some cheese powder in there, it would thicken it up a bit. But I think I'm going to leave it. I'll leave the pot lid off a little bit so the steam can get out easily. So it will thicken up a bit on its own. So I'm just gonna let that do its thing for, I don't know, a few minutes. It's basically done now, but let's see how it's going. All right, let's see what comments are going on here while I'm letting that, what do you call it? Simmer. I'm letting that simmer before I get to the bread. Ronald C. first. You silly goofball. Terry Zabin says, "Hi, Jaimie. You the best." Well, thanks, man. Is that snot bacon? I am actually not cooking snot bacon. But if anyone doesn't know what snot bacon is basically when you cook anything that you're basically using as bacon. So maybe some fried ham or some thinly sliced bologna or anything, just a piece of meat that you cut thin and then fry. So it's kind of like bacon, like fake bacon. And I call it snot bacon. And I call it snot bacon so that people, and this does happen occasionally, it doesn't happen very often, but once in a while, someone will say, "Snot bacon, what's that?" And then I get to say, "Well, snot bacon." Well, it's funny to me. My kids think it's hilarious too. Nepsy says, "What you, Jaimie? I don't know what me, Jaimie." How's it going, Tony? Craze Films. Hello. Okay. Closest star to us is Proxima Centauri. I see. Did I say anything about stars? Speaking of stars, okay. So there's this. Do I have time to say this right now? Let me just check on my food for a second. It looks fine though. Oh yeah, it's doing totally good. So, there's all these debates about why aren't there like civilizations all over the place? Like, is there some kind of barrier between like our current civilization and colonizing the galaxy that we're not aware of, like some kind of thing that stops races from colonizing everything, right? And what's it called? The Great Filter? Yeah, there's things called the Great Filter, I think is what they're calling it. And I can think of a great filter that we've not gotten through yet, that we're actually kind of stuck in. And I've mentioned this once in a while, So we've got these civilizations that grow and then collapse and grow and collapse and grow and collapse. And this has been going on for a long time, right? Civilizations grow, they get amazing, and then life gets too easy and stupid people get in charge and no one really does anything about it because it doesn't really matter because life is easy, so nothing really matters. Whatever. And things start falling apart and people are like, but life's pretty easy because they haven't lived in those previous generations when life was hard and you had to build a place. So what happens is, life or the civilization falls apart, right? This happens over and over and over. So how do you break that cycle? I think to really become a long-term species, we got to break that cycle somehow, right? Or else, just as we're getting started, like doing some really cool stuff, we're just collapsing again, right? So the way I think about it is, there are plenty of ways you could theoretically beat this cycle, but the one that I like is to keep a focus on individuals. And that basically means getting rid of the idea of rulers and slaves, like masters and slaves, just getting rid of that whole hierarchy, just sticking with individuals. And it's maybe harder to do certain things in that scenario where people are being individuals. Right now, our society, if you took our society and said, no one's in charge of anything, the whole thing would just explode overnight because most people have become so accustomed to doing whatever they're told, not thinking with themselves, and just being slaves that it wouldn't work. But if you're in a society where, things have collapsed and you're trying to build things back up and no one's in charge because everything's a mess, no one, individuals start building things back up. And then as things get going and life gets easier, not so savory people start becoming in charge of things and taking leadership by force, having authority rather than people just acting as individuals. And any leadership that comes up is because those individuals see that person as someone worth following. And the moment they're not worth following anymore, there's nothing to tie them into that, requiring them to follow that person. It's just like, okay, once that person is not doing a good job as a leader, now we just find another leader or do our own thing or something. But once you have a situation where one person can rule another person, it just brings all kinds of problems into the world. So if we could, this is like a fantasy for me, but like if we could evolve to a point where we are so resistant to the idea of being ruled that no one can have authority over us, it would prevent, wars. Like how many wars, like all the big wars are because some leader decides we're doing this. And then all these people are like, all right, I guess we're doing that. And so many bad things happen because one person can tell a million other people what to do. Some good things happen too, but over time it ends up getting worse and worse and worse and worse because when you have that kind of power, it attracts the worst kind of people. So if I think we could get through this, the great filter to become a better spacefaring civilization, exist long into the future by getting rid of authority entirely, which makes me, what is it called? I have a problem with authority. Yeah, I do have a problem with authority, which did not go well when I was in school or, anytime I deal with authority, but whatever. I think authority is something we don't need. Is actually really destructive in the long run. I think I'm gonna cook my bread in my popcorn pot. And all my pots are black on the bottom because I cook on a fire. And I just don't wash the outside, but I wash the inside. So let me put this pot on. It has a little bit of water in it actually. So let me put it on and just dry it out. I'll be right back. Oh man, that looks excellent. So here's my sloppy Joe mess. Uh-oh, I don't want to dump it out. Anyway, Oh, it smells good. Man, it's got hot sauce in it. I don't usually have hot sauce. I need to dry out this lid a little bit. All right. What else do I need? I need to check my fire and turn it into a bread cooking fire, which means kind of a low level fire, not too hot. All right, letting my big pot heat up for a few minutes, and then I can put my bread in. Well, I'll put a little bit of oil in there first. All right, let's see that last comment I really went off on. You know what? I'm going to move this steaming pan away from the tablet, just in case. I don't know. Let's see. Where were we? Proxima Centauri. Yeah, I don't have Starlink. Jaimie Van Zandt, the Dutch American wonder. What is that? I don't know who Jaimie Van Zandt is. What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying to me. Are you just saying like weird random things? How often do I visit the city? Like a city? Well, there's a town that I visit. I wouldn't call it a city. There's a town that I visit, I don't know, a couple times a month maybe. But the last time I was in like a city, like a major city, I don't know, years ago. I don't really like being in cities. It's too crowded and noisy, and there's cars everywhere, and the air smells terrible. Yeah, I like to have space and fresh air, and so yeah, I don't spend much time in cities. I haven't been to one in quite a while. Streaming is good here in DC. Excellent. And eat it raw. Okay. Terry Zaban. Are you just a weirdo? Just being weird? Or you're responding to things as I'm saying it, aren't you? That's what's going on. Okay. Ronald C says, yeah, I gotta extract the essential oil. Is that with the garlic? That's why you squish it to get the essential oil and stuff? I don't know. Garlic killed my COVID when I caught it. Well, that's beautiful. Oh my God, I do that too. Any news on the dragon scales roof tiles? No, I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything with the roof in a while. I just been doing other stuff. I don't know, the roof. Okay, so I was making good progress on the roof, and then I got enough of it done that I didn't really have any drips in any important places. So I got, a little bit slack on it. I was still working on it, and then some just crap happened in my life, and I was feeling a little suicidal, and I was like, man, I better not go up on the roof because I'm not going to care if I fall off. So then I didn't go up on the roof for a while, and now it's just been put aside for so long that I'm just doing other things. But at some point, I will get to the roof and finish it. It's like half tiled, so I'll do the other half at I don't know when, some point. Looking buff there, Jaimie. Well, thanks, man. I've been, doing lots of work and stuff. Today, I spent most of the day over in the jungle working on my camp. So I want to build like a campground, and I'm thinking it should be like apocalypse camping. So, hold on. Let me check my bread pot. It should be dried out by now. Yeah. All right. I just need to put a little squirt of oil in the pot, and then I can put my bread in. You know what? Let me bring the pan in here. I will put the bread in here. Okay, so here's my bread that I made this morning. It's been rising all day. There we go. And I think I'll put it dry side down just to make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, it's not sticking at all. That's good. Okay, so that's my bread. I'm just gonna put it on the fire for a while. Now, if I go more than 20 minutes without checking on my bread, someone say something, but it should be fine. Wait, what was I talking about? Hold on, let me check the comments. Come on, comments, show up. Okay. Oh yeah, looking buff there, Jaimie. I was out cutting jungle, clearing out some jungle for my campground. Yeah, I want to make like apocalypse camping. You know, so you basically come to this campground and, you know, everyone is encouraged to turn off their phone. I mean, I don't want to be like militant about it, but like, you know, just be like, okay, we're here and the rest of the world doesn't matter. Let's just enjoy days or a week or whatever in this place and just totally be present, you know, like you would be if there was an apocalypse and the rest of the world disappeared. And then just have like an apocalyptic adventure. I think that would be kind of cool. And maybe I'll dress up as a zombie and run through the camp in the middle of the night. Well, maybe not. Well, maybe though. Anyway, so I'm working on this campground that I'm making, and I want to make some cabins and stuff, and I want to have this ready for May of next year. And I mentioned this in the last few lives. I want to have an adventure builder meeting the week of May 3rd next year, 2024. This is 2023, right? I don't know. I think this is 2023. So this would be 2024, May 3rd, the week of May 3rd. I want to have an adventure builder meeting so people could come and camp out for, I mean, any part of that week, the weekend, the whole week, whatever, and just hang out. And I used to have these adventure builder meetings once a year. It started, the first one was on my birthday. So it just became the tradition oh, someone just told me, yes, it is 2023. Thank you, Mr. Landfill. Anyway, so the first one of these adventure builder meetings was on my birthday. And that just became the tradition that is always on my birthday week. And I did them a bunch of times in Vermont and met some really awesome people. And people came from like all over to these things. And I did one when I was in England. And a bunch of people showed up to that, and there were some really cool people there too. And then I haven't done one in a while just because I haven't really had any place to host and stuff. But I decided, you know, a month ago or something, I want to build this campground. And I was like, you know, that would be a perfect place to have adventure builder meetings. And if I say I'm going to do that next year, that'll give me a huge motivation to actually get it done next year. Let me just see, is this better here or up here? This is where I usually put this. I think that, no, the lighting's no better there. All right, let's just leave it where it was. Yeah, it's really cloudy right now, and there's no light in here. I mean, there's light behind me. I'm always backlit in this house. Oh, and this morning I went running. So I've really been enjoying my running track. I made a video, I don't know, a few days ago, a week ago or whatever, about just showing the running track I made. And it's maybe like a 1/4 mile long, you know, like a standard outdoor running track length. It's not that far. But it's just really nice having a place that I can go running without having to, like, you know, go somewhere. So this morning I woke up, the kids were all still asleep. I got on my sandals and went outside and just ran 6 laps. Man, I felt great. It's not even that far or anything, you know. It's probably 1.5 miles-ish. With some hills and stuff, you know, I got my heart rate up, did some work. But yeah, man, I used to run every morning, 5 or 10 kilometers for a while, and then sometimes I'd do a marathon every morning. Well, there were 2 different time periods. Like, I used to run track and field, so during the track season, I couldn't do anything crazy. But during the summer, I could like wake up, run a marathon, then do some other exercise and, you know, eat a ton of food because I'm doing this. And then like run another marathon in the afternoon. And I would just do it like the first time I did it, I was like, I'm just going to go out on a run. Like, it's the end of the track season. I don't have to save anything or be ready for some big race or anything. I'm just going to wake up at like 5 in the morning. The sun's not even out yet. I'm just going to go running, you know, just have fun and just go running. And then like an hour later or whatever, the sun starts coming up, and then like I would just run for a few hours, just chilling, you know. And after doing that for a couple weeks, I was like, hey, I'm basically running like 2 marathons every day. That's crazy. And then I actually started measuring it, and I was like, wow, cool. And then I, tried to actually make it 2 marathons every day, which was kind of silly. So I just made it 1 marathon every day. But anyway, I've, throughout my life, I've done a lot of running, and a lot of it competitive, like in track meets and stuff. But always my favorite running was just like no competition, no fans. It's just, I'm just like out there, just me and the planet, just running through the woods or something. I always loved that. So yeah, I've been doing that mornings here. If it rains, it's a little muddy because there's no grass growing on the trail yet. But like any not rainy day, I'll just wake up first thing in the morning, put my sandals on, go out and run a bunch of laps. Oh, it feels great. It's really good. It's really good to wake up and do that. I always feel amazing. Like first thing in the morning, just get to feel amazing. I mean, it's the first lap feels like crap because, I just woke up and I'm all like, I'm all stiff and but yeah, by the end of the first lap, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm doing stuff. Yeah, anyway. Where am I? Going to work. Just found out there's bus replacements. Rather be on an island like yours. There is bus replacements. Just found out there is bus replacements. I don't know. I would need some context of where you work to figure out what you're talking about. Yeah. Why do I think? I try not to too often. Okay. Why do you think few people manage to do crazy things like building cathedrals as you did? Do you think few people are bold enough? Well, that is the basic gist of it. Like people aren't bold enough. And the thing is, I was talking earlier about how, civilizations, when things get easy, there's a lot of master slave. Like people are just being told what to do all the time. And we end up just with a culture where people are so used to doing what they're told, it's habit. And to do something they want to do, or that something from their imagination or something unusual like that, it's a big step for people who've never done anything for themselves. And I grew up in the suburbs of Canada, Ontario, going to public school, being told what to do all the time, and just like, this is what you do, this is what life is, and this is you go through school, you do what you're told, you get your A's, then you go to work and you get a good job and you make the money and blah 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 blah. And I'm not entirely sure why I resisted that. I know what I was thinking and feeling, but I don't know why I resisted that so strongly when a lot of other people didn't. Like there's just something in me that's like, I don't want to be told. I want to do what I think. I want to figure things out. I don't just want to coast through life and do what I'm told. And I think there's got to be some genetic component to that. I just have some like built-in strong resistance to authority. And like my brothers and sisters, they're all doing, normal things, kind of doing what's expected of them. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say why one person will do something and another person will do another thing. I do think that we've been bred over a long period of time to be obedient. I think that's a big part of our society. Hold on, I want to go check on my bread here. Bread, not that kind of bread, the other kind of bread. Let me just flip this around and you guys can take a look too. All right, I hear a bit of sizzling. Maybe I'll get that in the middle of the pot. I think I want the pot a little bit hotter than that. stuff another piece of wood in there. Hold on, I got bored a bit. There we go. All right, hopefully not too hot. I just have flames down here in the bottom though. There's no wood up in here. When I really want to blaze it up, like if I'm making popcorn or something, I'll drop a stick down in here and then it'll burn all the way up and then it gets really hot. So this should be fine for the bread. Let me just make sure those are in there. So yeah, I think probably, do I need to go get a light? All right, I'll go get a light. Hold on. I think probably the world wars may have had a lot to do with people losing individuality. Like this is largely me talking out of my butt right now because I haven't really thought about this that much. I'm unprepared for the question. However, you know, there were 2 world wars, and there were a lot of people who wanted to fight for their freedom who died in those wars. So a lot of those types of people got wiped out. And then, I mean, after 2 generations of going through world wars and just families being destroyed, I think a lot of our culture has become focused on just being safe. Like people are afraid, you know, like when you grow up without parents, it's like growing up without safety. And I had this experience, like the home I grew up in, it was like living in a battlefield, like always stressful, there was always anger and frustration. And this is what happens when, you know, homes are broken, families are broken. You don't have a pair of parents who are working together to try to, you know, make a good home. We don't have that. You end up with these homes that are like a battlefield. Like it's like you're constantly under the stress of attack and being screamed at and all this stuff. And it makes people just want to be safe. Like you don't want to do anything risky. It's like, oh, I just want to, you know, live my simple life and just make it easy and not stir up the boat or not deal with anything, you know? And I think a lot of that has to do with the way families have been destroyed. Now, to go back to your question, why did I choose to you know, be a weirdo, even with all that stuff trying to force me into, you know, normality? I don't know. It's just the way it is. It's just like people are different. I totally think we need more weirdos though. But are you a weirdo? Are you doing weird things, like things you want to do for yourself and not just doing what you're told? Hi, bro. Looking good, Jaimie. Big fan. Well, thanks, man. For the bread, I'd recommend a campfire oven like Coleman sells. It's just a metal box with a grate in the middle. You could make one. I'd get you one if you want. My bread cooks pretty good. What I want to do, let me just think for a second. Okay, just a metal box, basically. Yeah, okay. Well, what I want to do is make a brick oven, you know, like a pizza oven. So, yeah, when I do an oven, I'm just gonna wait till I have time and the motivation to do that. You know, it's one day I'm just gonna be like, damn it, I just want to do this, and then I'll do it when it gets high enough in my priority list and high enough in my I really want this list. But right now, I mean, everything, I can cook everything and it's fine. Should I go check on my bread? Let me check on my bread. Just because I beefed up the fire for a second there. Oh, man, that is looking good. Okay. Hey, get back here. I just flipped the bread, and the bottom was looking golden brown and beautiful, so that's nice. And I was actually going to do buns, but since I'm doing this, I was like, let me just throw it on there because bread's fine too. Sloppy Joe's is usually buns, but whatever. Mr. Landfill says, yes, 2023. No wonder you are in such good shape. Yeah, well, yeah. When I was younger, I kind of got obsessed with exercise, and that stuff, like, that sticks with you like for your whole life. Like, that has effects that last. Like when you get into exercise when you're young. And I got into exercise when I was really young. I remember when I was 5. I would do. I still can't believe that this was a thing. But I would do 100 push-ups like in one shot every night, and then 100 sit-ups. And the sit-ups isn't, I could do 100 sit-ups, that's not a big deal, but 100 push-ups, I can't do 100 push-ups in a row without stopping now. Although I do much better push-ups now than I did then. My push-ups now are like, knuckles go down till my chest hits and all the way back up. I think my 5-year-old push-ups were pretty sloppy, and I also just weighed a lot less. So it was probably like, if I could do a few push-ups, it probably wasn't that much harder to do a lot because I just didn't weigh much, But anyway, yeah, I would do like 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups every night. And part of it was just a way to deal with my own frustration and anger, when I was a kid, growing up in a broken home, whatever. And, I had a lot of frustration and anger, and I had to do something with it. And when I was really young, I got some fights and stuff. And then, one day, this was one of my favorite things. This is one of my favorite memories of something my mom did. One day after I got in a fight, oh my gosh, there's a mosquito on the screen. I got in a fight with some kid. Apparently I beat the crap out of him. I was just a little kid too. But I didn't realize that I was hurting this other kid, because when you're a little kid and you're in a fight, at least for me, like, I was very egocentric. I was just thinking about myself, I was like, he's still hitting me. That means I'm getting beat up, but I was hitting this kid a lot more. And the fact that he was still conscious meant that I was losing, just in my little kid mind. But like, I'm not going to knock someone out when I'm like 30 pound, well, I weighed more than that, like 30 or 40 pound little scrawny kid, right? But anyway, apparently I beat this kid up kind of bad. And after, my mom sat me down in a chair and said, look, you have to understand, you don't realize how strong you are. You have to be careful. And it wasn't even that I was super strong. I was pretty strong for a scrawny little kid. I was very wiry, but just the fact that I wasn't aware of how strong I was, regardless of how strong I was. I wasn't aware of it. And I wasn't aware of how hard I was hitting this other kid. So my mom said that to me, and she had just her voice and the way she looked at me. I was like, well, I better take this seriously. She's being really serious. So instead of getting in fights with other kids, I just started doing a lot of exercise. So every night I would do all these push-ups and sit-ups. And then whenever we played hide and seek, I would hide in like the place where you had to run really far. And on the street where I grew up, we would play hide and seek, and there was a fire hydrant, I think it was, that was home. And then there was like nothing over that, like that end of the street, there was like no good hiding spots. So everyone always went that direction. So when the person started counting, I would just start running past everyone and then go around the block. It must have been like a kilometer, and I would run the whole way around and then come back the way that no one would be hiding. And by the time I got back, the person who was like way over here looking for people. And I would always do things like that, where it's like I loved running, like any excuse to like run. I still love running. And that was one of the hardest things about moving to an island, was like there's nowhere to run. So now I have this little running trail, and it's amazing. But yeah, I've always been really into exercise and pushing myself. And one of the things I did for a lot of my life was I would wear heavy weights while running and climbing things and stuff like that. And I actually got up to 100 pounds, and I could wear 100 pounds, which was 2 weight vests and like 10 pounds in each hand and 10 pounds on each foot. And I would run 9 miles to a track, do a running workout there without my weights on. And then I would run 9 miles home. And I did it every Wednesday for like a year. And I don't know, I just really like that challenge of doing that kind of stuff. And then it also has, a lot of really good health effects. Although people tell me my heart rate is too low and I'm going to die and blah, 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 but whatever. The best way to inspire an adventure builder is to tell them they can't do something. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, actually, you know what I really love? I really love when one of my kids says, "Go, Papa, go." And that came from when my first daughter was really little, and she would watch me run. She would say, "Go, Papa, go." And now every once in a while, she still says it. She's like 13. And last week she said, "Go, Papa, go." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." That was great. 10 minutes since bread. That was a while ago. Should I check the bread again? All right. I'm gonna check the bread again. Let me see how it's going here. I think I need a little bit more fire. Stuff those sticks in there. All right. Bread's looking good. Still has some cooking to do. For anyone who missed it, at the beginning of this, I was cooking, and I've got sloppy joes made, except for the bread. The bread's still cooking. Me, sort of. Oh, this is about the question about doing, what he asked, Jaimie, what is it about you that makes you do things, like weird things, when most people won't? Most people just kind of do what they're expected. And I asked him, do you do weird, unusual things that are, unorthodox or outside of what's expected of you? And he says, me, sort of, but not fully yet, I would say, but I intend to. Dude, do it. Life is short. Life's going to go by like that. Like, think about how old you are now. Like, that whole thing up to how old you are now, it just went by. Like, it just happened so fast, right? Like, I'm 48, and it's just like, poof, it all just, here I am. And, another 48 years is going to go by like nothing, So don't waste your days, I'm not saying rush into things that don't make sense, but like, if you want to do something, work toward it. Don't wait for another day. And whenever I say this kind of thing, someone always says, "Well, I can't just drop everything I'm doing and move to the woods." No, that's not how it works. Like, you have to work for it first. Like, I didn't just get to move to the woods. Like, I had to save a bunch of money and make sure I was in good shape and do some planning and all this stuff before I could do that. But I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and didn't waste time, and then I could do it. So, we're all gonna die soon. I mean, the life of a human is not that long. Like, we're all gonna die. And when you're about to die, this is something I remind myself a lot of. When you're about to die and you look back on your life, you don't want to look back and say, "Why did I wait? Why was I, what the hell was I waiting for? Was I just waiting to die before I would realize that I should have done all this stuff?" No, just put yourself in that perspective where you're about to die and you're looking back on your life now and you're wishing you had done blah, blah, blah. And then come back and realize, I'm here now. Now I can do it. I haven't missed it yet. Now I still have life left. I can do whatever I want to do, whatever you want to do, you chase those dreams. Don't let them slip away. Don't let them fade. Here's the thing about chasing a dream. If a lot of people are afraid of chasing a dream and not catching it, right? But that's fine. If you put in your best effort and you tried to do something and you didn't make it, you're going to be fine with that. You're going to get to your deathbed and say, I gave it a try. I gave it a real shot. Like what else could I do? But if you don't try at all, you're just going to be like, well, I didn't really do anything. Because the thing is, if you chase a dream, even if you don't catch that dream you're chasing, all kinds of other stuff is going to happen because you're inspired and working hard, and you'll end up doing things you would not otherwise do, and your life will get interesting. So if you have some kind of dream you want to chase, just totally start chasing it. Whatever you got to do. Even if you have to start doing some weird things that are out of the ordinary. I mean, don't do anything crazy or stupid or murderous or nothing stupid. But like, if there are weird, unusual things like things that you would not normally do, those are going to lead to stories you're going to be able to tell your grandchildren, and it's going to make your life more interesting. So don't wait. Let's see, where am I? I get overwhelmed with the list of things to do and freeze and do nothing. Ever get that way? I totally know what you mean. Usually for me, that happens when I don't have a list and there's just a lot of things that I'm working on. And, living off grid, there's always a lot of things to do. And I'll have certain projects that I'm working on in sunny weather, and then rainy weather things, and then cloudy weather things, and then indoor things. And I'll end up having so many different projects. I'll think, okay, what should I do today? And I can't remember any of the stuff. I'm just like, what have I been doing? I don't know. It's just there's this big pile up of stuff. But then I start writing it down, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that much stuff. I'm like, I got this and this and this and this and this and this, and these 8 things that I'm working on. And I'll be like, all right, let me just prioritize them. What's the priority right now? What's the best thing I can work on given the current weather conditions and whatever resources are available. And then once I think about that, I don't get stuck. So I don't know how your freezes go, but if you've got that list, just look at your list of things to do and figure out which is the highest priority. Maybe even number them. A lot of times I'll do that. I'll number the stuff. And as I'm numbering them, I'll be like, wait, no, that's not the right number. This one goes there. But after a minute or so, I've got them lined up in some kind of priority list where I've got 1 or 2 things that are the high priority. And I'm like, all right, just pick one of those and start going. And just don't give yourself enough time to start thinking about why you shouldn't. Just start, And some of my most productive days have been when there's a project I need to work on, but I'm not even sure what I'm going to do. So I'll be like, all right, let me just go to the project and just see how it goes. And I'll be like, well, what can I do? Well, fix this little thing here, and I gotta paint that. So just do that little thing real quick. And then 20 minutes later, I've got parts everywhere and I'm going crazy and getting all this progress done. And it's just, just sometimes you just kind of got to work into it, and then you get sucked in and it's like, wow, now I'm going. That's how I get out of those frozen spots. Hey buddy, what's cooking? I'm making sloppy joes today. And right now the bread is cooking, and I'm gonna go check on it again. Hold on. Sorry, I just shined a light right in your face. Hold on, check the bread. Oh yeah. They can need a little bit more fire for this. All right. All right, it's looking not too bad. Pretty good. I might have to relight the fire. It's getting a little bit low. That happens when I don't pay attention to it. Yeah. All right. What's cooking? Thanks for the reminder, by the way. Hey, Jaimie, personal question. Oh, how and why did you start filming things in your life? Okay. Actually, before I even started doing videos, this was back in the dinosaur days of the internet when videos weren't even an online thing yet. This was before YouTube started. I had a website where I was just showing things that I built and just sharing things I was working on. And I had a bunch of like some swords that I'd made, blacksmithing. Oh, that's so fun. I want to do that again. And I showed some pictures from some track meets and stuff like that. And then when I first moved off grid in Vermont, I was doing everything in pictures, just putting stuff on the website. And the reason I was sharing it was because when I was a kid, I always wished there was something I could watch about building. I love the cartoons like, Thundercats and G-Force, and but the problem is all those shows, they were exciting and fun, but it was all just about fighting and destroying things. And I was always interested in building things. And there were no building stuff shows, or maybe there were, but they weren't very good. And so I was like, I want to share stuff I'm building, because maybe some other kid who's younger will see what I'm doing and be inspired to build their own stuff. Because one of the big barriers in my early life between doing kind of what was expected of me and doing the things I really wanted to do was that I had no examples of what I really wanted to do. Like I wanted to be an inventor and make stuff and adventure and do the things that I wanted to do, not just what I was told. And it was such a foreign concept that it was hard to start doing that. And at the beginning of my life, like when I was like 5 up to high school or something, I was always building these little inventions in my room by myself, and no one ever saw them. Except in high school, one of my physics teacher, Mr. D, I don't remember what his full name was, but Mr. D, he got in some conversation with me about what I do, because I was really interested in physics, and he was a physics teacher. And he's like, well, where are you learning all this stuff, where you understand a lot of the stuff before I've taught you? Where are you getting this physics understanding? And I was like, well, I like to build things. And so he started interrogating me about the things I built, and I brought in a couple of my little robot-y things. And he was really interested and got me to go to some science and technology fair and show them there. And I won $400 and some, I don't know, I won some $400 prize, which, when I was in high school, that was a lot of money, which is pretty sweet. And, he kind of got me to show them some. And that was the first time I really shared any of my building stuff, was because my high school teacher bugged me into doing it. But it was kind of cool. And, I was always doing this stuff by myself, not sharing it with anyone, because anytime I told people what I was trying to do when I was younger, they'd say, you can't do that. That's a stupid idea. You're wasting your time. Just all this negative stuff. So I learned very quickly, don't tell anyone. Just keep it to myself. Build my weird things and just do my own thing. So when I got a little older and I was building these things and good things were coming of it, I was like, I should share this with people so that a kid who's like me, who thought he was just a weirdo and getting crapped on all the time for building these weird things, maybe some other kid will see what I'm doing and be like, hey, that guy's not doing too bad, and he's doing his own thing. Maybe I can start following some of my own ideas. And I think it's worked. I mean, over the years, I've gotten letters from people here and there who've said, you know, I started watching your videos when I was a kid. I've been watching them for like 15 years, and you know, you had a real big impact on my life. There's a whole bunch of things I did that you kind of encouraged me to do. So thank you. You know, I love that's my favorite feedback to get. Just like people who are like, you know, Jaimie, you made it easier for me to be weird, for me to follow my own ideas. You know, that's my favorite feedback to get from people, and I get that sometimes. It's really awesome. Let's see. I may be mistaken, but I think lignum vitae, strongest wood, is a mangrove tree. Really? The stuff you've been milling and carving into handles looks super dense and hard. I wonder if you have any lignum vitae. I don't think that's a mangrove tree though. Lignum vitae is this really super dense hardwood they used to use for like boat, what's it called? Like the sleeve that your propeller shaft would go through, because it wouldn't wear out because this wood was so dense and hard. But it's hard to find now. If it was mangroves, I mean those things grow everywhere. It wouldn't be hard to find at all. But I don't actually know that much about it, so I don't know. Maybe. AL around you. Oh, do I remember? Okay. Such a cool wood used for machine parts, self-lubricating to a degree, nice tone and aroma. I've made chisel mallets out of it and messed around with turning it on a lathe. Wow. What's the follow-up verdict to linen as a material? Oh, linen. Okay, so a while ago, I got some linen, and I'd heard that linen was like much stronger than cotton. And linen is, oh crap, what's it? Oh, it's someone put the comment here. What kind of plant it's from? I can't remember now. Anyway, why can't I remember that? Anyway, linen is it's a different fiber than cotton. And although if you buy like linen sheets, it'll be cotton. But if you buy actual linen sheets, it will be a different fiber from a different plant. But linen is supposed to be a lot stronger and cooler. And I made a linen shirt. I have it right over here. Hold on, let me grab it. Oh, it's right on top there. Let me just shake it out, make sure there's no scorpions in it. I always shake out my clothes and boots. Anyway, I made this shirt out of linen, and I like it a lot. I really like the linen. It's like I've not been gentle with this shirt at all. I've been actually very rough with it. I've gone digging in the mud and running through the jungle and stuff. It's real dark color, so you can't see it that well. But the cloth it looks pretty much exactly the same as when I started using it. It's got this little pattern. The cloth is like kind of rough, like it's got a texture to it. So that was there when I started. But it's also cool. Like it's definitely significantly cooler wearing this than a cotton shirt. Yeah, I really love the linen. I like it a lot. I might have to make some more linen shirts. And one of the linens I got is like an old school tablecloth pattern, where it's got it's basically off-white with like a spoon and like a table and a chair, just like little almost like doodles of kitchen stuff, on it. So it's totally like a kitchen tablecloth pattern, like the old kinds. So I might have to make a shirt out of that because I think it'd be kind of funny and cool. Let me put this back. And then maybe I could use that dark color to put some accents on and stuff. I don't have time for all this stuff. But yeah, I really like the linen. It's definitely holding up extremely well. Like that shirt still looks brand new. And it's definitely not brand new. I've been really rough on it. Let's see. Definitely no, right. It's dark out. It is dark out. Yes, it's very dark out now. Is there any way, actually, it's kind of funny. I don't think about this anymore because I'm used to it. But when you live in a city, you don't know what real darkness is. Like it is dark. Like out in the wilderness, it is, there's no street lights or anything. Although right now I'd say it's not even that dark. I can still see a bit of sky through the window. But like if you've never experienced like real darkness, it's kind of a cool thing. Like to just be out in the woods in the middle of a moonless night. It is dark. Like you don't know how dark can get until you go like this and you can't see your hand. Like you can't even see any movement in front of your face. It's kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, it's dark out now. The sun has gone down. Is there any way to use a biodigester gas as a light source? I think you could, yeah. And is that even an interesting idea? Maybe not worth the trouble. I think you could totally do it, yeah. I don't know, maybe it's worth doing. The thing with light though is like this is what I'm using right now. I can't see it. This is what I'm using right now. It's just like a tool light, and it's so easy, I just charge the light, the battery, and the thing lasts days. So electric light is so easy to do now that, yeah, it kind of makes gaslight obsolete. But maybe if at some point there's a big EMP, like a solar flare thing that whacks the earth and knocks out all the electronics, maybe gaslight will come back. Mr. Landfill says, thumbs up, everyone. He's always giving everyone thumbs up. About why filming self, such a beautiful motive. Thanks for sharing. I love your videos. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I didn't want to start making videos for some stupid selfish reason. That wouldn't make any sense. I would feel like, I don't know, I'd feel like a schmuck. I'd feel like a schmuck even more than I do anyway. I also do like acting a lot. Like, yeah, I like acting. It's a really fun thing. And I think if circumstances had been different, I think acting is definitely one of the avenues I might have pursued. I mean, I do a bit of acting here, doing the video stuff. And, when I did my movie, I got to do a bit of acting. But like, I could definitely see myself going like serious actor direction. But, I'm doing this instead. Garbage picking is my favorite. Oh, maybe I should just do some serious acting. Start seriously acting on here. Anyway, garbage picking is my favorite inspiration. I'll find something I have no interest in, yet it's in such good shape. I take it sooner or later. I experiment with what I find and learn why it's cool. That's sweet. Okay, Manson says bearings. What about bearings? Oh, linen is flax, right? So linen, that shirt I was just wearing is made out of flax. Thank you. I don't know what your question is about bearings. I need some more information. But speaking of bearings, I started making what's it called? Conveyor belt. And I'm videoing it, and I just started. I just got like a little bit of it put together yesterday, just enough to get to the point where I'm like, yeah, I think I want to make this. But anyway, I'm making a video of it. So I want to make a conveyor belt so I can just move things like, a few meters, like 3 meters, like 10 feet. Because I have spent a lot of time unloading things from boats or loading things into boats, and just having like a conveyor belt that's like from me a little bit past where you are, just it would save a lot of time and effort. And sometimes I haven't gotten any of these deliveries in a while, but sometimes I'll get sand delivered or rocks and sand for concrete and stuff like that. And I always help unload the boat. And it's always such a big job unloading the boat. But if those guys showed up and I was just like, give me a minute, And I pull out this conveyor belt, put one end right into their boat, and the other end is like right up here, right where the pile's gonna go. And I just have to say, just put it right here. And it just does it. Oh my God, they would be like, this is magic. It's witchcraft. This is amazing. Can we have one? Yeah, that would be, I want to see their faces. I want to order a bunch of sand or something just to get it unloaded and have them be like, we spend all our lives shoveling this stuff and then walking across rickety boards, falling in the ocean, trying to get across a thing to like put the dirt there or the sand or the rocks, and all you got to do is just throw it on this thing and it zoop. Oh yeah. So anyway, I've done a lot of work loading and unloading that kind of stuff from boats. So I think I'm at the point where I'm like, dude, I just need to make a conveyor belt that's just gonna, and it can run off my shark slicer, which has plenty of power. It has a bunch of solar panels and batteries. I mean, it's an electric boat, so it drives around. So the conveyor belt won't use as much energy as the motor on the boat, so I can just run it, endlessly. But I'll have to see how well it works and stuff before I get too excited. Okay, the flax plant, technically, linen is a vegetable. Linen fabric is made from the cellulose fibers that grow inside the stalks of the flax plant. Well, thank you, man. The secret to life is, box talking, a to-do list. I think you're saying box ticking, a to-do list, but I like Toto. If you don't like the list, change it or do walkabout. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the secret to life is checking off lists or checking off stuff from a list, but it is pretty nice. It's pretty nice when you have a list of stuff and you get to like cross stuff off, and like a little while later, you get your list out and like 3/4 of the stuff is crossed off. And you're like, whoa, man, check out all the stuff I've done. This is awesome. That is pretty sweet. Let's see. Okay, Lingam vitae. It's native to Caribbean Panama. Oh, a small tree. I wonder, I should look up what it is because I might have some. I think it grows around or near mangroves, but hard to find for sure. Would be cool if you found a dead tree somewhere. So yeah, I need to look up what kind of trees those are, because a lot of the area around here, like in land that I have, hasn't been logged or anything. So like there's just whatever's there. So yeah, I would say if that wood is going to be anywhere, there's a good chance there's some on my property somewhere. So I probably cut it down. Oh, and destroyed it. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up what it looks like and see if I can find something. About garbage picking, I always enjoy your salvage videos. Would you like to have a separate building that serves as a giant tool library? Oh, I would love to have a separate building just as a giant workshop with like a huge section for salvaged things. Garbage, people sometimes call it. But like so much of the stuff I build, well, anytime I build something and I need to make something, the first thing I do is just look in the scrap pile. And surprising amount of times, I will find something in the scrap pile that I can modify a little, that I can use for something that would otherwise be kind of complicated to make, or that I have to use something expensive to make. And it's just junk that I found on the street or bought as scrap metal really cheap or something. Yeah, I would love to have, PVC roller bearing conveyor belt inbound. Well, the first roller, I've made the first roller. It's got the motor, which is geared down, and it's got the first roller, and it has a skateboard or roller skate bearing on the other side. But it may be swapped out for a plastic bearing. But I just put the roller skate one in there because, it'll last a while, and I have like 100 of them. Because someone actually sent me those too. Someone sent me those 100 roller skateboard bearings. Just the standard ones are like this big. Anyway, I just stuck one of those in there. because it should last a long time. But if it gets to the point where it's rusting out, I'll probably make a plastic bearing for that. But yeah, let's see how it goes. The other rollers might have PVC bearings. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There's a mosquito right on the edge of the thing, and I want to. Oh, I got him! Look at that! Got him right there, right there. That was funny. He was on the side of the tablet, and I just grabbed him. Would you have been you would have been a way cooler professor on Gilligan's Island. Okay, that professor, that's a wily guy. He totally could have gotten them off that island. I think he liked chilling on that island because he was like, this place is amazing. Let's hang out here for like ever. Why would we want to go back? So I'm going to pretend that I don't know how to fix a boat or make a boat. I can make a radio out of these coconuts, but I can't make a boat, so we're stuck here, fools. Oh. What a tricky little guy that guy was. I want to hang out with Marianne. Ooh, yeah. Oh, not bearings. Oh, wooden bushings or whatever those boat things are called. Yeah, bushings. So the lingam vitae is this hardwood that they use for bushings for propeller shafts, because the wood was so dense and it resisted wear. Would the conveyor belt be useful for your logging endeavors? Maybe not. No, this isn't a conveyor belt that I could put like a ton and a half of some object on that's gonna. Besides, it's not. I mean, if it moved it like 10 feet, it would take more energy to get it up on the conveyor belt than it would to just drag it that far. You know. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it for logging. I have been thinking about the logging though. I don't know. I'll get into that later. What is this? Sorry, Thor. This update on the mother. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. You guys got to be more. If you're trolling me, make it clear. If you're not trolling me, I mean, you got to be more clear in what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. All right, lignum. What a nice non-corroding option for your build. Yeah, if I could find some of that wood, that would be great. I could make some cool stuff with that. Hey, let's get the oh, the logistics involved here. Okay, let's get the banana building taken apart and shipped to you. I'll donate to the cause. Oh my God, you know what that would take? Oh, like someone would have to go out to the forest of Vermont, dismantle that entire thing, somehow get it down the mountain. Oh, just, yeah. It would be easier to, yeah. I have been thinking about doing a metal building here, but stainless steel, since, you know, it's a saltwater environment, you know, things get salt water on them. But if I was building a metal building, stainless steel. And I was doing some financial calculations of the cost of this. And it might actually be reasonably doable, but I have to do a little more planning on that. About logging, I like your idea of moving your mill around to wherever you are working. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but it's not that easy to move. So we'll see. Plus, you know, it's a lumber mill with a whole bunch of solar panels on it, and that's an item that some people would like to steal. And if I just have this solar powered lumber mill out in the jungle, and anyone finds out about it and they know it's there all night for a extended period of time, you know, someone might just show up, take the solar panels and leave. And, you know, I would get there the next day and be like, why, damn it, why did I make that so easy? You know, so it's not so easy to just move your lumber mill around. Wasn't sure if he was trolling or not. If so, he is bad at it. Yeah, Mr. Landfill, that guy was terrible at trolling, because I have no idea if he was trying to be insulting or not. Yeah, I don't know. I love The Quonset style metal buildings, not crazy money, would be cool to combine with shipping containers. I like that design. I would love to have an open arch to work under that's connected to another. Yeah. Yeah, just having like a big roofed area where you're basically outside, but you're not in the sun, you're not getting rained on. You can just, especially in an environment like this, in a tropical environment where it's basically always summer. Just having a roofed workspace is so nice. It's really nice. Let's see. Your water tank all over again. Which water tank? I mean, if I build a building with my water tank, or a building like the water tank? Hold on. The arch would be so cool. Tropics, desert, anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. But if you're in a cold place, you would want it enclosed so you could heat it. Oh, the water tank. Yes. Watched a video today, 2 40-foot Connex boxes and a banana building on top. That was pretty cool. I'm not a troll, thanks. It was just a question. I don't know what the question was. That was confusing what you wrote. You have to be more clear. Anyway, it looks like I'm at the end of comments here, so I'm just going to give you guys a last second. Does anyone else have any questions or comments you wanted to make before I go and stuff my face with these sloppy joes? You like them extra sloppy. That was from Billy Madison, was it? I don't know. One of those movies, one of the Adam Sandler movies. Okay, let's see. I think we're basically done. And thanks for the visit, ARC 212. I hope you have a great evening or morning or whatever you've got. And okay, I'm gonna go eat some food, and you guys do your thing. Enjoy your sloppy joes. I will, man. Oh, I put hot sauce in them because my kids are not here right now. Ooh, very exciting. Okay, be safe, everyone. Mr. Landfill says. All right, I'm out of here. Catch you later, guys.